It's what brings everyone together. To fight for a shared goal, to push each other forward. It's what creates moments that we'll remember all our life.
Marking up for the game. Got
it! So mark your calendars and be a part of the battle for the ultimate trophy.
He's having a good day.
Because when we win for one,
are you kidding me?
We win for all.
We've arrived with the best 32 teams in the world, all competing for their country to bring home the coveted Naismith Trophy and a World Championship. Passion, pride, purpose, all unfolding on the road to the 2023 FIBA Men's World Cup, and it all begins right now. Welcome inside to Okinawa Arena. We are in Japan, the backdrop to the 2023 FIBA Men's World Cup. The host nation for Group E and F play. Nearly a packed house here. I'm Despina Barton alongside FIBA Hall of Famer Andrew Gaze. Andrew, we get to catch your Boomers taking on Finland here to open up competition. What do you think will stand out here tonight?
Well, I think it's going to be a tough pool. It's been labelled the pool of death, such as the quality. And the Australian team, that they've got a lot of experience. 9 of these guys on this roster competed at the Tokyo Olympics, and they're up against a very strong team, which we don't really know a whole lot about. They've come onto the scene in the 2022 Eurobasket. This team here finished 7th, and they showed that they can compete with some of the best countries in the world. It's based a lot around Lauri Markkanen. He's the main man for Finland, and Australia, they've got their hands full and trying to figure out a formula on how they're going to stop him.
For Australia, they are the higher-ranked team coming in at number 3 in the world. They are the favorites on paper, and the old-timers here, Andrew, they are making their 13th World Cup appearance. But on the other side, we've got the new kids on the block in Finland. This is just their 2nd World Cup appearance, and they're currently ranked 24th in the world.
Well, that's right, and the Australians, this is a veteran group that went through the last World Cup in 2019 in China, got all the way through to the finals and lost a heartbreaking game to Spain to get get through to the finals to play for a gold medal. And this team, they got their first Olympic medal a couple of years ago in Tokyo, so they're coming in here full of confidence. 9 NBA players on their roster, but this is a Finland team, and that man coming up there right now, well, he's not there just yet, but Lauri Markkanen is going to be the heart and soul of this team. And it's a team that's a young team, very inexperienced, and they do have one player, Saso Salim. He's the veteran, he's the point guard, he's the sharpshooter, and he wears number 9. Look out for him, because he is actually the only one with World Cup experience on this Finland team.
And they're saving the best for last here with these introductions for Finland. The crowd going insane as Lauri Markkanen, the 26-year-old superstar, is now on the court. Both teams taking their positions for the national anthems here. Finland led by Lassi Tuovi, one of the youngest coaches in the World Cup here this year. A look at the slate of games here in Group E. Of course, Finland, Australia on the court now, and then
Japan, they got their hands full, and it's not just also about winning the World Cup, it's also about qualifying for next year's Paris Olympic Games.
we'll stop down for the national anthem here of the visiting team, Australia. And now over to the Finnish national anthem. Andrew, so much pride, not only on the court, but in the stands. We have nearly 8,000 fans here today in Okinawa Arena. Talk to me about what this moment, I see you're really emotional right now.
Yes.
What this means to strap on the jersey of your home nation.
Well, it's the highest honour you can have to come and represent your country, and a lot of these players, they play in big leagues, play for a lot of money, and here it's all just about the jersey and playing for the flag and representing the people back home the way they want to be represented. And we've got two teams that clearly, just judging by the way in which they responded to their anthem, all the players singing, showing a lot of pride in the opportunity here. And for most of these players, this is the fulfillment of a boyhood dream. They grow up wanting to play for their country, and they finally get to have that opportunity.
And that's something of a culture shift that has changed over the last couple decades for Australia. I believe when you were playing, that was not quite the notion, but these last couple of decades for these Australian fans and these players on the court, they're coming from great lengths across the world to play for Australia.
Well, I'm that old that back in our day it was the main thing, but we have gone through a period, particularly when we look at the guys on the floor, where when I was playing, most of the guys played in the domestic competition. As we look at the starting lineups, Matisse Thybulle, Josh Giddey, Paddy Mills, Nick Kay, Duop, Reith, Josh Green had been starting for some of the games, but they had a warm-up game against France and he tweaked his ankle, so he's going to come off the bench. And what a bench it is with Joe Ingles, superstar veteran, Dante Exum back in the NBA. Jack White, he's an interesting one. He wasn't going to be part of this team. He was the 13th man on the roster, but Jock Landale, he pulled out. He got hurt in one of the warm-up games, but this man on your screen, Paddy Mills, he's a superstar. He's currently at the Atlanta Hawks, but he played the last season with the Brooklyn Nets, more renowned for winning championships and being part of the very famous San Antonio Spurs outfit. And Josh Giddey, man on your screen right there, he is a superstar in the making. Have a look at the numbers. He's a triple-double waiting to happen with the 16.5 points, almost 8 boards and 6 and a bit assists. And he's also a bit of a work in progress too as he develops his perimeter shot.
Just 20 years old, everybody at home that's watching, and this Boomers team is led by Brian Gorgon.
Yes, and again, this is how old I am. When I first started playing basketball, senior basketball as a 15-year-old, that man was my captain and teammate. He was still playing. He's now just turned 70. Oh my goodness, that'll make you feel old, but he's a star of Australian basketball, currently coaching in Asia, and has spent a lot of time coaching club basketball in Asia as well. And Finland, these guys here, they've got some talent that can worry the Boomers.
For Finland, this is a look at their starting five. Miro Little, Sasu Salin, which you talked about, is the captain of the squad and the only one returning with World Cup experience. Olivier Kamwa, Mikael Jantunen, and then Lauri Markkanen is the superstar down low. But look at the rest of the bench play. And they are, of course, led by Lassi Tuovi. Yes, Markkanen, we got a playlist for you here, Andrew.
This guy here, he is a star. Look at the numbers. He's had almost 28 points a game in 2022. When it was a surprise they did so well in that Eurobasket, ranked second in the Eurobasket. And he is just, with those numbers, you can see why. It's hard to think that he's only second at 27.9. And this is that other guy that you're talking about. He's a sharpshooter. He plays in Spain at Tenerife, and he's a veteran of the squad. They like to get out and run, and he'll let it fly from the three-point line.
And their coach, Lassi Tuovi, the second youngest coach, as you can read on the screen, in World Cup 2023. He's 1 year older than me, 36 years young. And you know what, though, Andrew, the shift in the player-coach scenario has certainly set the pace across the world. It's a trend with some of these younger guys respecting, learning, and absorbing the knowledge from some of these younger coaches.
For sure. And it's a different game. The personalities have changed from coaches being dictators to now coaches being facilitators. Yeah, they got to put the system in place, but the days of ranting and raving and screaming, those days are long gone, and it's more about the developing personalities and growing the relationships to get players to buy into a system.
So these two teams have met once before, but it was nearly 6 decades ago, and it was Australia who won by just 2 points. Final score 61-59 at the Rome Olympics.
That's 64. But that's a long time ago. I'm not sure how relevant it is today, but it just shows how little these teams, these two countries have had the chance to play each other.
Let's try and listen in here to the Australian huddle.
We'll have a set for you, all right? Just make sure off the gate, be aware of pressure. You take the ball out of bounds. Patty and Nick here, so just that. If we go here,
Lauri back down screen. Ihan kaikki optiot. Jos ne nukahtaa screenaa oma, tonne heitto ja ajo. Jos ne ottaa top-blockin, menet tonne noin ja laitetaan Laurille pallo sisään ja sitten pyöritetään heitto.
kun pallo menee paussiin, ei pysähdytä. Tulee tuplaamaan.
Kyllä. Valmiina olleen liikkeessä, heti leikkauksesta pysyy vapaana.
Joku tulee nyt palloon näin, että ei kaikki lähde vaan.
Andrew, before we get started here, I'd be interested to hear your keys of the game.
Well, I think for Australia, it's what they can do on the defensive end and how they can lock up Lauri Markkanen. He's the guy that not only Australia, but all teams that play against him has to deal with. And he's such a tough coverage because he's inside out, uses his size, but he can put it to the floor and get to the cup and create off the dribble. So how Australia can contain him. And then, of course, down the other end is how they get their own offense going. And they've had some problems. Paddy Mills has had all sorts of problems in the 5 lead-up games. Excuse me, in the 4 lead-up games, 6 of 34 from the three-point line. Now that's not going to get it done for Australia at the pointy end of this tournament. So looking for him to figure out a way to get his shot going, and that's going to be a big part of what they do. You know, he shot it at 39%, almost 40% from the three-point line. at the Tokyo Olympics, and he's such a big part of what they do. And Josh Giddey didn't make the Tokyo team. He was bitterly disappointed, and he's only 20, but he's now going to be the starting point guard. Matthew Dellavedova, who had that responsibility for the last decade and a bit, he didn't make the team, such as the talent that's now available for this Australian team.
9 NBA players on Team Australia, and they had to turn some away.
That's right, and 9 is the most outside the NBA, excuse me, outside
Team
the USA team.
And jump ball will go to the Boomers. And the freshman, I'm gonna call him a freshman. Josh Giddey with the rock. The feed down low, mishandled, Mills recovers. He'll pull up the mid-range J, hits it.
And that was a designated play to get Patty Mills going. As I mentioned, he struggled in the warm-up games from shooting the ball, so he sees one go through early on. They had a little layup for him that he missed, but knocks down the perimeter mid-range shot.
Kamwan gets it to Markkanen, driving the right baseline, kicks it to the corner, shot up, and Tunin is there.
That's what you're going to see a lot of. They take a lot of threes.
Giddey on the give and go. A little extra hand help from his teammate Reith. We're running in transition.
Wow.
Corner kick. A miss, and Mills with the board.
This is a blistering tempo. This is the way Finland play. They get up and down.
Giddey recess. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Baseline. Kay gets stuck. Will kick it. Giddey, first 3 ball of the game. A miss. Reith battles on a block. Will go the other way.
That was an impressive defensive set by Finland. Really got Australia off balance and had to settle for a 3 by Giddey. And that's the type of shot that Finland are going to make him prove it from the 3-point line. Giddey's strength is getting to the rim, and they're going to make him shoot it.
So instantly in the full court pressure. Markkanen pulls down his shot. Over tosses the ball to Little.
Well, the other one that we're talking about when you think of freshmen, it's Myra Little. He's a young, up-and-coming player, just recently signed at Baylor University.
Mills drives, draws 2, a miss. And Salim with the ball feeds it to the rookie. Yeah, 19 years old. Corner shot, up, good. Another one from Salim.
This is a great start by Finland. See a couple of 3 balls go down. And getting some stops on the defensive end.
Mills elbow shot, in and out. No, it goes in. Giddey there, just making sure. Mills. The post up on the block. Reith calls for it. One dribble. Cutter comes. And Kay will get a couple free throws.
That's just elite off the ball movement. They got it into Reith, and Nick Kay on the weak side. Little curl cut. Gets to the basket, and Reith good enough for a head fake. Knew Markkanen was there and draws a foul on the Finnish superstar. And Nick Kay very familiar with Japan. He's played the last couple of seasons here in Japan with his club basketball.
The 31-year-old makes the first, and he was one of the mainstay players for the Boomers throughout the qualifying tournament to get here.
Yeah, average 15 points a game for the Shimane Susanoo Magic in the J-League.
Kamwan to Salim. Feed down low. Turn and shoot. Kamwan. No.
Reith, good D. Got a piece of that.
Okay, steps through for the 3 ball. A miss and Little looks down court. Markkanen, first shot of the game from 3, hits it.
And that's the challenge. When you're that tall and you can shoot the 3 ball, it makes you really hard to guard.
Reed working on the block, will kick it. FIBA, a miss on the wing. Australia fights to keep it here, and instead it's a foul against Keg.
Pushing foul as he went for the board. He doesn't like it. And it goes away for Finland. This is a breakneck speed that these two teams are playing at. And you see already Finland make a couple of substitutions. Understandably so, but at this pace, you'd think it would favour Australia. Australia got far more depth on their roster. So they'd be welcoming this up-tempo speed, and that's a travel.
And how much, though, is it at this point, just about 4 minutes into the game, these two feeling each other out?
Well, it is, and they're playing on emotion. First game, they've come out and trying to get it going. As we see Markkanen, he'd be rapt to see his first 3 ball go out. 27.9 points a game in the Euro Championships last year. That is some outstanding scoring.
Takeaway here for Finland. We're running in transition. Kay knocks the ball out of Jantunen's hands.
This is a sloppy start for Australia. So they decide to go small, due up Reed. And without Jock Landale, we mentioned that at the top of the game, he hurt his ankle just a little over a week ago, or a week ago, in fact.
This one's last touched by Giddy, so another freebie and another opportunity for Finland.
And Jock Landale was a big part of what Australia did at the Tokyo Olympic Games, and he is a huge out. And rather than bringing in another big, they've gone with a big-ish guy in Jack White, who plays big, but he's not big in stature.
How physical is the FIBA game? Well, you're seeing right now, Jantunen.
Both these teams looking to make some substitutions. Dante Exum came in for Josh Giddy. Now we see Joe Ingles, the legend.
Thibault steps off, handing over that foul. 1 point game. Now a drop for Jantunen. Mikhail will get a chance to make it a 3-point play. Finland's biggest lead of the game.
Well, he's another one. He can score the ball. He played at Treviso in the Italian League last season. Got good size. And the inside-outside opportunity.
Makes that one count. Mills running the O. Kick, corner shot. Joe Ingles, can you hit it? He does.
That is just a poor breakdown on the defense by Finland. You do not leave Joe Ingles open from the 3-point line. That is his bread and butter, and there was no one within 3 meters of him.
Makshuni, the shot. Markkanen had a hand in it, and that one pays off. Last touch by Australia.
We mentioned at the start, reports of the 3-point line for Finland had come out white hot, 3 or 4 from the 3-point line.
Ball into Markkanen, and the foul handed over.
And that's the problem when you go with a small lineup. It may present some issues for them down there on the defensive end for Finland. They're claiming that they thought it was in the act of shooting. But right now, you just saw Finland just throw it up near the rim, and Markkanen goes and gets it.
Salin on the baseline. Markkanen Deep three, in and out. Ingles, no look pass, backdoor, had to be saved. Australia scrambling here, 7 to shoot. Mills, clearly no size advantage going up against Markkanen. And Finland, another defensive stop. And Mills picking pockets.
Oh dear.
And this one called as an offensive.
It was well after Paddy Mills had gotten rid of the ball. He did a really good job to steal it. And then take a look, he passes it and then just runs in. It's good defense. Not sure that Brian Goorjian's all that happy with the decision. A few words to say to the officials.
Makshuni. We'll get it back here. Skip pass. One more, no, take it away. Back-to-back steals for Patty Mills. Exum on the drive. Lay-in, misses. They'll get to the free throw line.
Well, one thing, if Finland are going to cause an upset, they need to take care of the basketball. Already 6 minutes of play, and they've had 4 turnovers. And that can happen when you're trying to play so quick. You're pushing the ball up and down the floor, and sometimes you got to live with some of the turnovers because of the pace at which you're playing. But right now, it's too many.
So Dante Exum, the 28-year-old from the States, plays with the Dallas Mavericks during the NBA season. It's his first free throw.
He was. He's very high draft pick. Went to Utah. Been in Europe the last couple of seasons. Was playing in Serbia last season.
Finland in full motion here as Australia's defense is ratcheted up. Double comes to Markkanen, he's got to get rid of it. The drive dish, backdoor open looking, pretty finish by Valtunen.
That is just beautiful defense. Australia are hard showing on all those on-ball screens, and that puts a lot of pressure on your weak side rotations. And that time, Finland were able to pick them off.
Ingles, lefty strokes it, a miss, and Exum pulls down the board. Will reset with the Boomers. Exum drawing 2, finish, yes, it's there, Xavier Cooks.
He did that well, Xavier Cooks. Markkanen was right there to intimidate the shot. The good soft hands around the basket. Now, Lauri Markkanen's got a huge size advantage. They've got Jack White on him. And Jack White, at 196.
Ingles just man-powering and a putback, Cooks.
And they're getting into the basket. And you can see the mismatch. 213 centimeters is Markkanen against a 196 guy in Jack White. And there's a bit of confusion about what's going to be the call here. And that's clearly a foul on Xavier Cooks. I'm not sure what the discussion is down the other end. Joe Ingles just crafty, misses an easy one, but Xavier Cooks with the putback.
That's a move by a veteran, 35-year-old Joe Ingles, unintimidated by going down the gut of the lane.
2 shots because over the limit. Australia with that's their 5th team foul.
So Alexander Madsen steps up to the free throw line. Some substitutions here in the process. 2:28 to play in the first quarter. It's the opening game from Okinawa, Japan, and Group E play. Despina Barton alongside FIBA Hall of Famer Andrew Gaze.
It's a bit of an adventure from the free throw line. Last season he played at AEK Athens and only shot at 64% from the free throw line. This time he walks up, knocks them both down like he knew what he was doing.
He's rewarded with a break as Kamwa subs back on the floor, as does Giddy for Australia. Intended for a pick and roll. His dishes. White will drive this go around. Giddy in traffic. Gobbled up there, the board by Young Tunen. Well, Tunen driving left. Kiss off the glass. That one counts.
Wow. Joe Ingles has gone down holding his head. I think he ran into the basket support and he went down trying to draw that offensive foul. And he's caught one on the head. And have a look here in the overview. Tough way to call. Tough decisions they have to make. This time it goes in favor of the offense. And they'll get the M1, and there you see him with the head. And issues with heads has become so prevalent in all sports these days, and generally overly cautious. Josh Green was getting set to come in, but Joe Ingles says, no, I'm okay.
Three-point play complete by Valtunen, and nice to see Ingles doing okay. I know a lot of his Orlando Magic fans are watching from home in the late night as the feed is disrupted. Kamwa there. Zabala now running point for the finish. He'll pull up the three. Top of the key misses. We're running with Exum now. And the foul's handed over. Looks like it's coming from Olivier Kamwa.
It is. That's that weak side help. Really good. Josh Giddy goes in, think he's got something cheap. Nice back cut. And Kamwa, who has been spending his time over in the NCAA at the collegiate level, playing at Tennessee. Off to Michigan, he's transferred, but you can see the athletic talent that he has.
Giddy backdoor cut, right there, no.
Here's Kamwa again.
Markkanen, he'll make it count. Coast to coast for Markkanen.
Wow, this is an impressive start by Finland. And I'm more impressed with what they're doing on the defensive end, causing all sorts of problems for Australia.
40 seconds to play in the first quarter. Exum, a whistle on the floor.
There's an issue with the net too down Australia's end that they're going to have to fix up. Have a look at the block. Kamwa. He has just been protecting the rim, and down the other end, the big fella runs the floor. Look at the agility. This is a man that's 213 centimeters tall and still just glides down the floor, even with the ball. And it's going to be a timeout, and it's an official's timeout as they try to rectify the rim. And already it's game one, and Nick Kay got some scars on the back of the neck.
And it's only game day number one.
Only the first quarter. Adam Caporn is the assistant coach who's talking right now. And this is what Brian Goorjian, at the end of quarter plays, he hands over the responsibilities at the particularly on the offensive end for the last 30-second plays, or if there's a trying to find a special after timeout play. Adam Caporn, who is one of the assistants at the Brooklyn Nets and spent a lot of time at the Australian Excellence of Sport facility they have in Canberra. Look at this. Look at the young fella. Get up. Not in my house.
Kamwa covering all of the boards.
Wow, that is high because he is up against an elite athlete. Jack White. Just elite. You see how high Jack White can get up, and that is a significant meeting at the summit. And there you see the hand just come through the net, cause some problems. They're on top of it, all fixed, and we should be set to go.
39.3 seconds to inbound here. It's Joe Ingles. Action back on. Behind the screen, let it fly. Ingles a miss. Giddy there, covered by two white jerseys. Stays with Finland.
Yeah, falling out of bounds, Giddy, so tried to throw it against the legs of Finland. Smart enough to get out the way. So probably a little, not quite enough time to go for a 2-for-1 here. So they'll just work the clock and try to get the best available. And not give Australia too much time to go down the other end.
Maximon Sapala here as Finland has 7 seconds to shoot. About 7 seconds is the differential in the game clock. Corner look there for Rob Tunin, a miss. And we're running Exum on the receiving end. It was high, the putback, no, nothing there. At the end of the first quarter, it's Finland with a 4-point advantage, 21-17. A surprising start here for Finland, the underdogs in this contest. And we'll take a little break as these two teams recharge between quarters. Start of the second quarter here in Okinawa Arena. Make sure you've got the Courtside 1891 app. That's where you can find all the game scores, behind the scenes footage, anything your little basketball heart desire. Just go ahead and scan that QR code on the screen. So 10 minutes in, Finland up by 4. Despina Barton alongside FIBA Hall of Famer Andrew Gaze. It's Markkanen and the Finland squad out in front. What did you make of that first quarter?
Well, I was impressed with Finland on the defensive end. They were able to protect the rim and cause some problems for the Australians with what they were doing defensively. Broke down a couple of times, but by and large they did it well. And this man here's getting it going. He is a handful, and as you'd expect, Finland with a limited World Cup experience, a lot of firsts. It's Finland's first 21 points. Is the best tally in the first quarter in a World Cup game. Josh Giddey finally gets it going. Had a 0 for 4 start, and that time just gets to the rim. And you see how he used his size. When you've got a little guy on him, if he can get that deep in the paint, he's going to be hard to stop.
Markkanen just having his way. And on the other end, Giddey, the freshman, in his first World Cup appearance. His first bucket. Makes it count for 3.
Olivier Kumar is the other one. He's the first Finland player in FIBA World Cup history to have multiple blocks in a quarter. Very small sample size, like I said, because they haven't had a lot. Oh my goodness.
This gym would have exploded if that ball would have gone in. It was nearly to midcourt.
Well, there's no doubt where Japan, where they're feeling more comfortable and who they're supporting. I think that generally you've got the Finland fans, the Australian fans, but the Japanese get a sense that they are in Finland's camp for this one.
A foul on the floor will keep the ball with Finland. It's going to go against Josh Giddey.
Late call, but the correct call. Josh Giddey on the underneath out of bounds play. Just trying to hold his man for a little too long.
Picks up his second personal.
He's got the job of John Toonen.
Markkanen with the ball.
Uh-oh.
Leaps it over. Thibault there. And taken away in transition. Salim, the feed, Matson misses. Mills, no look. Taken away, Salim there. A little hot potato here, the last couple of plays, and a finish finally, Alexander Matson.
Talked about Finland's turnovers, and they've had their problems. Had 5 in the first quarter. That was the 4th turnover for Australia, so they're not doing much better.
Ingles spots up, top of the key, drills it.
Well, Ingles at 35 years of age and 327 days, he's become the oldest player to represent Australia at the World Cup.
Markkanen, the cleanup man. 2 more for number 23, he's got 9.
Well, they haven't cracked that code, have they, Australia?
Ooh, Ingles here slipping on the floor. Ball gets to Green on the wing. And no whistle, play continues as Ingles gets some help up by Jan Toonen.
2 of 8 now for Australia from the 3-point line. And I think he had a similar issue we saw with Joe Ingles. When he hit the ground, he slid. I think he went into the LED signage, and he's had an interesting preparation period. If we take a look, Joe Ingles just a wet spot. Caught the side of his shoe and hit the wet spot. Then we see almost a sacrificial foul there by Josh. No, it wasn't the sign. It was just when he hit it on the. He hit his knee on the ground, and Joe Ingles had to go off with the blood rule. Brian Goorjian wants a timeout just to try and figure things out.
A lot has happened in the last 2.5 minutes. So, of course, yeah, we'll take a timeout here with Team Australia.
Make your moves go crazy. You know that physicality now, just play through it, we're good. Reverse split. We've got 4 guards out there, all right? Reverse split. If if we're in a set, work out of 4, all right? And do some Iverson, some circle, get to some side pick and roll. I call the timeout. This end stop now. We're in trouble if you don't get stops. We're not getting any stops. Layup, switches, stop. The fight is right now. Don't let him get away. Gotta play defense. Strong with the ball. Here we go.
Brian Gorgon there delivering the key message to his squad.
Well, the key message was defense. He's upset with what's going on at the defensive end. Yeah, you've got some problems on offense where Australia are only shooting at 35% as opposed to 45% for Finland, but concerned about the easy baskets that Finland have been able to get.
Little high-low action, making it look pretty there, Manson.
Well, not only is it pretty, it's easy. It's easy for them because they're able to get through their sets and passive on those on-ball. Beautiful pass, Paddy Mills.
Look feed on the other end.
Yeah, Josh Giddey, he reads the defense so well, but look at the matchup he's got down the other end of the floor against Alexander Madsen. Big size in this match, but that's the versatility of Josh Giddey.
Marketing driving left, rebound pulled down by Josh Green.
And Markkanen's seen his fourth different defender trying to have a go at him. Now Josh Green's going to have a go at him. Oh my. Paddy Mills with an air ball. As I mentioned, 6 of 34 in the 5 pre-tournament games from the three-point line.
Open look corner now, Kamwa. And Mills with the weak side board. Looking down to Giddey, disrupted, Little finds the ball. Markkanen running the lane. And Finland having to here to set up in the half court. Up by 4, Little, 7 seconds to shoot. Markkanen will pull the trigger. Giddey angles, all tangled up.
Well, just a little out of control was Nick Kay. Wasn't able to gather the ball. And have a look, see the fumble there. Madsen in the right place at the right time, and Nick Kay off balance. It's another turnover for Australia, where they lead that category now. One category you don't want to lead. They lead that one 6-5.
Finland here taking a timeout. They lead by 4. It's 29-25. Just about midway through the second quarter.
I'm gonna just turn around if he's just being lazy. I cut through, I'm gonna just step right into it, under the basket. That's he's lazy.
Hey, use the front. Hey, relax. And you know, you cannot leave him. You can mock from Giddey, but not so that he cuts backdoor. I know it's good, they say one time, but like, don't mark like so active with him, how he cuts. Hey, let's stay calm. Let's stay calm. Let's go one time counter hate so that Sato back picks him. You swing it. You get it.
Literally the rise of Markkanen in this Finland squad. Able to convert and find ways to score. The finisher, they call him.
Well, it's easy when you got a star like Markkanen in the playoff. He's going to get a quick rest. I can see him spending too much time on the sideline, the 9 points and the 3 rebounds. He is really the go-to guy. And Markkanen's had an interesting preparation because Finland has requirements for all males. They've got to do 6 months of military service. So he went back after the NBA season, has he's going to do it in increments, I'm told. And so he's already had a couple of weeks doing military service following last NBA season. Uh-oh.
But look there from Little. And the extra play by Josh Green. Australia takes over.
It's a real interesting combination that Australia can throw. A lot of different looks. And now they've got a Patty Mills and Josh Giddy responsible for running the guard duties.
Giddy floater, baseline, no, off. Little pushing the tempo. Around the horn we go. Saline hits it for 3.
Patty Mills is right there, but you need to be closer. You've got to make him put it to the floor. That's his go. He wants to let it fly from the three-point line.
Mills, top of the key, off back rim. Board here by Green, keeps it with the Boomers.
And this is starting to get, alarm bells are ringing. We saw it in the last time out with Brian Goorjian. The anxiety levels are getting a little high. And Saline knocking down another 3-ball.
Size back on the floor for Australia. Reed. Giddy. Little miscommunication.
Australia have been getting some good looks. They're getting to the rim, just not being able to finish plays. Only shooting it at 33% from the field, and only 20%, 2 of 10 from the three-point line.
Mills with the curl, baseline shot, will go in.
It was a friendly roll that he got.
Saline, the ball knocked away by Thibault. Saline now gets the block on the other end. No, it's a foul and 1!
Well, potential 4-point play as Saline is putting on a show. He gets Patty Mills to bite on the head fake, and it was after the shot, but he hadn't landed. Clearly hitting in the arms. Hard for the official to ignore that. And he goes to the line to shoot to make it a 4-point play, and potentially give an 8-point lead to Finland. 9 points already, 3 of 4 from the three-point line. Make that 10 for Saline.
Double digits for the only man for Finland that has World Cup experience. He's playing like it. Mills with an answer. No. A push from behind. We'll keep the ball here.
Paddy just made one from the corner. Called his own number. We're looking for another 3-ball, but unsuccessful. Paddy's got to be careful to pick and choose his times. He's the leader of this team. On the offensive end, that's too easy.
Green there on the backdoor cut. Cuts the lead to 6.
Great. Oh, there's a wet spot down that end of the floor again. Almost the exact same spot that Joe Ingles fell over. This time it's Josh Green.
And I like the quick whistle by the officiating crew to clean that up.
Oh, you have to. When we've already seen Joe Ingles fall over, and now it's Josh Green. Not sure these floor wipers are actually on the right spot. It's a little lower.
We need you to get out there, Andrew. Can you show them?
Joe Ingles is a veteran of this squad, 4-time Olympian. He's got his 6 points, 2 of 5 from the field, 2 of 4 from the three-point line. That's just a back screen, and that's just a breakdown on the defense. And that's what happens when you got a guy like Patty Mills, because it's going to be screen-to-screener action, and the person guarding Paddy offered no help on that screen. If there's no help, if you get contact, it's good night.
Makshuni bringing the ball up for Finland. Salim trying to get open. A little stale here for Finland. Salim, that pass interrupted. No taking back. Kamwa, no shot. It gets tipped in though, Murphy, as Australia's caught sleeping.
It is. I think that they were expecting the 24-second shot clock violation. It didn't come.
Mills, mid-range pull-up, good. 3.5 to play here in the first half of action.
Paddy seems to be in that, taking matters into his own hands.
Makshuni, off balance, a miss. Giddy gets to Mills. Contact comes and Mills delivers.
My word, he has. That's 11 points now. He's 5 of 10 from the field. And he's got things going. And at a much needed time. That is just craftiness to draw the foul. He saw Murphy just out of position. Great pass, kick ahead pass by Josh Giddy, and Paddy just read Murphy all the way and drew the foul, going to the line for the M1. And more importantly for Australia, cut the lead to 3.
With the made basket here, he can do that. And he does. Trailed by as many as 8 here in the second quarter. Markkanen back on the floor for the final 3 minutes for Finland. He's being guarded by Joe Ingles. Mills on Sabala. Markkanen going at Ingles, fade away, throws it up, a miss. Giddy there for the rebound. Ingles, turn, shoot. A miss there by Giddy.
A wide open look for Joe, but he saw Josh Giddy cutting to the basket and found him. And Giddy's going to go to the line to shoot a couple of free throws.
The attack a little different here these last couple of trips for Australia.
Yeah, well, they're trying to push the tempo. Well, both teams are really pushing the tempo. And I think with Australia, they work the on-ballers really well. And the last 3 or 4 minutes, it's been at the defensive end, I think, for Australia. Finland came out of the blocks white hot. They're now down to 44% from the field. And Josh Giddy goes to the free throw line and knocks down a couple.
7 points for Giddy.
He's also got the 5 rebounds and 4 assists, so he's on triple-double watch.
Here guarding the inbound.
That's all.
Tangled up, Thibault.
See, Matisse Thibault's complaining, but when you put 2 hands on a guy that wants to cut, and it's also Lauri Markkanen knowing that Australia are in a bonus situation. So he's welcoming that contact, and as soon as he saw Matisse Thibault's hands go out, he exaggerated that contact to draw the foul. So really smart play by Markkanen as they tried to run a flex cut on that underneath out of bounds play.
And unfortunately here for Thibault, that's his 3rd personal.
Well, the 2 guys that are the centerpiece of this Finland team, and the 2 guys that I'm sure were front and center with the scout with the Australian team, are the ones dominating for Finland, with Markkanen in particular. He brought up his 11th point, and Salim, number 9, he's got 10. So they haven't been able to figure out an answer to the main go-to guys for Finland.
Giddy drives hard, and he will go to the free throw line. Both teams in the bonus. A little coaching up there from Patty Mills.
Yep, it is. Josh Giddy looks like he's wearing a few scars. We saw Nick Cave with the scratches on the back. Josh Giddy's got him around the neck. Such is the physical nature of this one.
Two shots.
20-year-old misses the first.
Finland really prepared to throw their lineups around as well. Already in this one, they've used 11 players. Now that's a little unusual in 40-minute games. Already in the first, only played 18 minutes in this one, and they've had 11 players see some action.
Really had it there was White, quickly back on defense. The trap came, and they earned the turnover.
Well, that's been the play by Australia with Markkanen. Whenever he's in an on-ball screen, they're showing and they're sending two players at him and just doing whatever they can to get the ball out of his hands. And that time, forced the turnover.
Giddy to Mills. Ingles in the face of Markkanen. Will dribble, create a little bit more space for himself, and same result, the flex for the 35-year-old.
It's been big. He's come in and given him a real boost off the bench.
Markkanen with the answer, no, won't go. Australia now with the 1-point advantage. Giddy, floater down the lane, it's good. The bench is going insane for Australia right now.
Well, now those shots that were missing are now making, and Finland, they want to have a chat about it. Called a timeout. Giddy gets into the paint, floater. Australia with a 3-point lead.
Activities for all the fans. It's the TCF Dance Fair.
Come on, hey.
Stay calm. Stay calm. Find the bounce back at it. Time management. Go long offense. Go long offense. Good so that we play first time any FIBA. Hero only. And remember, it doesn't matter the number shot. Until you come off, Hero pass, get the ball. And the second player only. Usually when Lowry.
10 lead changes here in the first half of action. Australia on the run at the moment. 43-40 for Patty Mills and company.
Yeah, Patty Mills, as I mentioned, really started to take matters into his own hands on the offensive end. He's up to 12 points now.
Final minute of action here in the first half. Myra Little taking his time with the ball for Finland. Little pick and roll action, hanging on, no takeaway. What a block there for Australia.
Xavier Cooks just read that perfectly. He was a little late, and it was a single side on ball screen, and there was no help. See the help coming there late. The hard show, and if you can get that pass away, but Xavier Cooks coming and getting it before he hits the backboard. Oh, hard to tell from that angle. If that board hits the backboard and then Xavier Cooks hits it, then it's a goaltend. But I think he actually hit the ball onto the backboard. So clean block. Joe Ingles stepping up to the free throw line, where throughout the course of his career, he's been an outstanding free throw shooter. %87% last season.
11 points for Ingles. Five-point lead for the Boomers. Little. Somehow, it's Mills again with the steal. Markkanen not stepping through to get the ball. Shot clock is off. Ball in Joe Ingles' hands. Salim guarding him tightly. 3 seconds, he's got to go. Forced to pull the trigger, not in time. Nothing there. So at the end of the first 2 quarters of play, Australia up by 5. It's 45-40.
Well, all things considered, if you're an Australian fan, you'd be happy with that lead, given the way they started. They trailed by as many as 8, and we're having problems on the offensive end, putting the ball in the hole. But with the tempo which Finland are playing at, it is labor intensive, and they just started to wear them down. A few turnovers, and then we have a look at the stats. The free throw percentages for both teams, elite. And after a slow start, both of them started to get it going, and the turnovers was a big one at the end. 5 of those 8 for Finland came in the first quarter. Rebound count, Finland were ahead early, but Australia started to get on top in that category, and it's the veterans of both teams. Well, I don't call Markkanen a veteran, but certainly for Patty Mills and Joe Ingles leading the way, and Josh Giddey with those 10, 5 rebounds and 4 assists.
Yeah, a lot of scoring options now here for Australia, getting activated late in the second quarter. It's the first game of Group E action here in Okinawa Arena, the site for the 2023 FIBA Men's World Cup. And we're going to show you some of the best plays here from our key players, Lauri Markkanen and Patty Mills.
Yeah, Patty, he's had a shaky time of it. Not just here, but last season in the NBA, really was out of the rotation. And in the second quarter, we saw some great action. Lauri Markkanen just showing his versatility. And another one who had a slow start, perhaps a nervous start for the 20-year-old Josh Giddey. His first major tournament with the Australian team. Took him a little while to get it going, but eventually we had the 10 points. And at the other end of the floor, it was Jon Tunen who led the way early, and they're having all sorts of issues defensively on that play, the pick and roll. How in which Australia guarded at the time was Alex Marsden, who was able to finish the play, but this man here, he can light it up from anywhere. Sasu Salim. And little head fake, 4-point play. And they're the types of defensive breakdowns that Finland can't afford to have. They don't have the same margin of error as Australia has in this contest because of Australia's depth and also their experience. But Finland disappointed to give up that lead, but well and truly in the ball game at a 40-45 halftime situation.
And Ingles here, the 35-year-old, shaking and baking. He's got 11 points. And now is the Australian player with the most rebounds grabbed in FIBA World Cup over the last 30 years. It's halftime. The Boomers lead by 5, 45-40. We're going to take a mini break. We'll see you at the start of the third.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are all on the same team.
We have the power to change lives through basketball.
Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin,
basketball
can bring everyone together.
Basketball for good.
Those guys knock down shots. Well, oh, nice pass.
Oh, and it's an alley-oop.
Jokic makes it look so easy.
Yeah, everything makes it look easy.
Father, nice back pass. Into Willie Hernan Gomez. Oh my word.
What a move. What a drive initially. Attack the basket, then the bounce pass came.
Gowrie. Back out to Ian and leaves his man on the floor. And throws it down.
Ripped through the ozone layer and pounded it home to Miles Turner.
Gotta get it in. It's in. Well, he breaks through. He can win it. He can win it.
Behind the back pass. Oh, yes. Now we've come to play.
That's the play of the day so far. Jalen Brown. Buckle up. And Windmill gets the crowd here in Shanghai to ooh and ah. With the response. Behind the back pass to D'Elia by Campazzo.
That was incredible.
That could be the player of the quarterfinals, folks.
Oh, did you see that? Matu throws it down.
Away in the flush.
Seconds.
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Welcome back inside Okinawa Arena. Despina Barton alongside Andrew Gaze, Patty Mills, the star for Australia through the first two quarters. They're going to need a little bit more, though, here in the second half.
He is. He's found the range and got it going, but he's one of only 4 players in the 21st century to have scored 10-plus points in 15 consecutive games in FIBA World Cup history, alongside Paul Gasol, Dirk Nowitzki, and Luis Scola.
What a family to be a part of,
He has joined some illustrious company, and he's done it in style in this one. Struggled a little bit from the three-point line. Actually threw up a couple of air balls, and you know you're a pure shooter when you throw up a couple of air balls but still have the self-confidence and belief in your own shot to stick with it, which is exactly what Paddy Mills has done. 5 of 10 from the field. And you can see his shot chart all over the place. He's just in constant movement. And for Finland, it's Lauri Markkanen, who...
No question here who is going to be the top scorer, right?
Well, that's true. And Australia, they tried a whole bunch of different combinations on him. They tried to go a little bigger. Then they had Josh Green try and come in. Jack White had a go at him. So he's seen a whole bunch of different looks. But when you're a class player, a player of Lauri Markkanen's capabilities, you can curtail him, but it's very, very hard to stop him. He's an NBA All-Star, and last season he was the NBA Most Improved Player, and almost adding an extra 10 points to his points per game average. That's why he got the Most Improved. And you look at the shot chart. Here's another one, inside, outside. Very rare. You see those two little red dots at the mid-range? That's rare these days for coaches to allow that shot. But with Lauri Markkanen, with his size, he can shoot it from anywhere. But the game's all about shooting the 3 ball and getting to the rim, and trying to work your way to the free throw line or finish at the basket or take threes. It's a game that analytics has taken over a fair bit of. And sometimes, though, you get a superstar in that mid-range. Both these teams, lights out from the free throw line. You see there, Little as well. He's, for Finland, he's another interesting one. Just a youngster, only 19 years of age. Last year, he participated in the 2022 FIBA Under-18 European Championships, where he averaged 15 points a game, 9 boards. So he can do it all, but it's a whole new level. Going from the Under-18s last year to elite level senior men's basketball, that is a big jump, and he's off to Baylor University to continue his basketball career and get an education as well.
Yeah, the Baylor Bears are
Sick'em Bears.
That's out of Texas in the United States. So I know he traveled pretty far to get here. Australia on the court now. They had the least amount of travel time, well, besides Japan, I guess, the host nation, right, of getting here. Not dealing as much with the time differential, an hour difference between here and Sydney?
Yes, this part of Okinawa compared to the East Coast, yes, it's an hour difference. It's 3 hours if you throw in the difference between Perth, which is on the west coast of Australia.
And Lauri Markkanen was talking about yesterday during the welcome and introductory press conferences. It took them a little bit of time to get used to the time difference here in Okinawa. I believe they said it's about a 7-hour differential. So all the different factors that come into international basketball. And not only that, these teams have been playing exhibition games all around the world. Landing here in the World Cup. Australia in their 13th World Cup appearance. They have also been on a run of 14 games here, World Cup stage, without trailing at halftime.
That's impressive. It's a high level of competition, and you think of those warm-up games, and Australia didn't have a lot to look at when it comes to scouting Finland. They played the 4 games. They played Lithuania twice, and they split the games between those. They were 1-1 there, and they also played against Estonia and Latvia. They were 2-2 in those 4 games. Lithuania and Latvia getting the better of them. But it's a halftime where Finland would be concerned about the ease at which Australia got their running game going. And I know Finland want to play quickly, but they need to be cautious about getting into a track meet with Australia, because they've got more depth and they can bring in fresh bodies. And it's not just your rank and file depth, it is elite level depth. 9 NBA players on the Australian roster, the most outside of Team USA.
And already we've seen 10 lead changes with Finland leading by as many as 8 points there in the second quarter. But now it's Australia and the Boomers with a 5-point advantage, and maybe some of that experience starts to settle in. The fans here rowdy, fired up, trying to get into each other's heads on the court. We hear them screaming, hollering. These uniforms, talk to me about this.
Well, that's a group that is put together by Basketball Australia, and they come to every World Cup and Olympic campaign. And there's probably about 70 or 80 of them that do the trip. They get all the gear and throw their support right behind the Australian team bench as well. So, and when you think of that bench, 45 points, 19 of the 45 Australia coming from the bench. And 5-point lead is the highest they had in the first half. So despite Australia's experience, there was some signs of just some nervousness to start this contest. And they've been able to battle their way through it through their veterans, Ingles and of course, Patty Mills.
Make sure if you haven't done so already, scan that QR code on the screen and make sure you downloaded the Courtside 1891 app, and make sure you're also following our digital and social media teams on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at FIBA WC. They're doing a lot of work to bring you some of the best scenes and personalities away from the court. And of course, the best highlights that are unfolding in front of us. Third quarter underway. Australia and Giddy behind the back pass to Kay. Curl, 3-ball by Mills, a miss. Having a good hand in there.
Patty Mills just giving Matisse Thybulle a cuddle there, frustrated. Good, again, a good set to start this one for Australia. What a really good 3-point look to Patty Mills.
Reith rolling, Mills takes it mid-range himself, it rolls right in.
No hesitation. He's come out, missed a 3-ball straight away, backs himself again and hits a mid-range jumper.
Skip pass, we're going around the horn, shot drawn by Salim. Everybody having a hand in it. Australia and Reith with the board. Giddy following the screen, and we're gonna have a whistle away from the ball.
Yeah. Well, there was a switch, and then off the ball, it was Ilari Sapala who had to guard Reith, so it was just a holding foul, just sacrificed the foul, so they didn't have that low post advantage.
So fresh shot clock, 14 seconds for Australia here in the half-court set. Thybulle driving down the gut. A miss. And we'll keep it here with Giddy. Left alone, 3-ball. Fighting for it. Kay, really close and comfortable. This time we'll go.
Well, they can't have that. Finland cannot have that. It's going to be a tough second half if they give up 3-0 boards that time. And Australia get 4 goes at it. On the 4th one was successful.
Tomwa, middle of the lane here. One and done for the finish.
Structure's gone out of Finland's play. Structure's gone out. They're just coming down, becoming penetration. Everything's off the dribble. Early on, we saw the dribble handoff. We saw the cutting action. Now it's all coming off the bounce. Native kick and dish plays. Josh Giddy ball. Trying to fight over the screen set by Marketing, and it was...
Picks up his 3rd personal.
And that's a...
Here comes the substitution.
Carl Gontunen was the one that he was trying to guard. He's not happy.
Dante Exum on in his place. There's Kamwa, gets it to Markkanen. Loose ball, gets the kick to Pala, the trigger. No good from 3, the tip is in. Tunen. Thibault left alone. Good for 2.
They really do put a lot of pressure on your defensive transition. A little bit too much celebrating there by Finland on the made basket. Got to get back, protect the paint. Another clash, and this time it's an offensive foul. I think it's going to be on Salin. Yeah, off the ball. Straight away, Finland go to their bench. Just a collision. Finland looked like they were running what commonly referred to as a bit of floppy action, where you got the 2 low post guys and the 2 wings exchanging underneath. And there was a collision between Salin and Matisse Thibault.
Just speaks to the physicalness of the FIBA game.
Nick Kay, he's a warrior.
Has the bruised up eye too.
He's got it on the back of the neck, and now the eye. Look at Josh Giddey, got the scratches around the neck. It's a physical contest out there.
What did they say? Scars are those souvenirs you never lose? Exum with the ball. Mills, curl, open wing shot. Misses. Markkanen cleans up the board. Feed coming on. Taken away. Big guy gets it to Thibault.
He's going to be unsportsmanlike, I think, too. Was well off the ball. They're going to have a look at it at the very least, I suspect. It was at the halfway line. The ball has been kicking ahead. Oh no, it's just going to be called a regular foul. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I saw something different.
Gets tangled up here in the foul against Finland. The fans don't like this whistle.
I think they don't like it. It's because it came late. There was a foul. There was a lot of...
Just messy.
Here we have a look at it. You see here the push, the hold, and then the foul came, or the call, I should say, came late.
Mills driving left, shakes Salin. Fade away, no good. Baltunen has 2 on him. And Sapalo will come back out and set things up. Gets Madsen a little high-low or side-by-side. Little parallel action. Second bucket of the quarter for the finish. Exum left alone. Wing shot, hits it for 3.
It was a good kick out pass. Went to the double team down low, and too easy. I'm not sure the double team can come from the guy who's handed the ball, but passed the ball. Needs to come from the weak side.
Salin trying to get something going on the other end. Exum, a part of the Dallas Mavericks squad. He's got a couple other teammates here. One most notably,
Josh Green
and Luka Doncic. Part of this pairing in Okinawa. We'll see Luka take the court tomorrow. Take away. Thibault there for the steal. Exum running in transition. Put down and pulled down by Ruiz. That one feels good for the big guy.
Certainly does. He runs the floor well. Look at Dante Exum pushing it up. Sees Reith wide open, and the defensive transition in this second half has been poor. And you see it, just trying to stop the ball. Not enough buddies getting back into the paint to protect it. And the excitement of the Boomers as they take a 12-point lead.
Coach Shuovi calling a timeout after his team is slumping. It's an 11-4 run for the Boomers.
Keep working to get those shots. It will fall. Take care of work those shots. This is exactly copy of the first half. We run the floor because they miss the shot. Now we miss it. Just keep on passing. Let's go, hey. Let's go. Hey. Let's go, Neljä sivu. Sillä tavalla, että Elias tulee sieltä ylös. Muistakaa tossi siitä toisesta. Eka on Henkka. Miro saa pallon. Syötä ja käydä. Ja se tipataan. Toinen.
That offense coming from quite a few different factors for Australia. Last year with Duop Reith, he went from a bench player a year ago for Australia to a starter.
That's right. Duop Reith had a modest role, is the polite way to describe it, when he was in Tokyo. But now with no Jock Landale, that's a huge out. As Josh Green gets called. Just putting some pressure on the youngster, Myro Little, in the backcourt. And let me tell you, he's going to see some great athletes when he goes to Baylor, but this is at a complete new level for Myro Little.
I imagine a great experience, because you won't see this physicality in the NCAA. No look pass, Marketing, the finish, and the dunk.
And that's what I was talking about a little earlier. They get it through some hands. They swing it, get some man movement, and eventually opens up with a slip to the basket by Marketing.
Exum drawing two, Marketing with the steal, the feed right up to the little guy. They'll have to reset when the rest of the team makes it up court. Strong take by Kontunen.
Productive timeout. Finland have come out re-energized after that last timeout. And in that timeout, Coach was talking a lot of good backdoor cut. Coach was talking a lot about defense.
Exum ends the mini run there for Finland.
Not renowned for his three-point shooting, certainly capable. He's knocked down a couple. 8 points now for Exum.
The foul called here as Markkanen is fading away off the baseline. Not liking it was Xavier Cooks.
There's the replay, the kick-out pass. The defense is collapsing. Australia doing a good job of finding it on the weak side. There's that play I was talking about. Now, that come after 2 or 3 actions of cuts, and they bite on the cut to the wing. And Nick Kay opens up that middle for Markkanen, and he slips to the basket, and he's now also found his way to the free throw line again.
14 points for Markkanen. 3 for 3 from the free throw line. And 5 boards today.
6 of 14 from the field as well. This is an interesting substitution. Markkanen coming out. Finland just on a roll. Just starting to get things going. Seeing the scoreboard tick over. But decides to bring back Kontunen. And Markkanen gets a rest. I suspect this is only going to be for a minute or 2 before they get him back out the floor. And straight away, Australia adjust. They counter. And bring in Jack White. Kay having a spell, as is Duop Reith. So this is one of the smaller lineups that Australia are going to go with. Jack White at 96 and 96, is going to be playing the power forward spot.
Exum to Cooks. 4 to shoot. Exum will take it through the lane with contact.
Really strong move by Exum and good finish. Right now, that's going to be the key for Australia with this ball lineup. Get it to the cup.
A little congested there on the right side. Angles with the rebound.
So those were the shots early on in the game were falling.
Exum trying to give it up to his teammate. A little miscue. Results in a turnover, yeah.
Not quite on the same page. That time Exum going in there to prepare for a rebound. Cooks going in there to prepare for a rebound. Both Exum and Cooks, the sons of Australian basketball legends, both their dads played many years coming from the United States and settling in Australia, playing in the various leagues, including the Elite League and the NBL.
3 minutes to play here in the third. Australia up by 11.
That's going to be an offensive foul.
Number 14, Kantunen.
So Henry Kantunen with the offensive.
They did the dribble handoff. Now he dribbles it off and see then he moves in the pathway. So that's a moving screen. You can't do that. Josh Green exposing it and gets called for it. Didn't really need to. Just needed to hand it off and hold his ground.
Exum, here you go. Cooks, that's what he wanted last go-round.
Oh, dear. Dante Exum has been a factor in this third quarter. He is driving at will, getting to his spot. You need some help. And Xavier Cooks goes upstairs and flushes it with the two hands. Beautiful play and execution by Australia. And this is an area of Xavier Cooks' game that needs work. Only a 52% free throw shooter with the Sydney Kings last season. And he says, what are you talking about, guys? Comes in and knocks it down.
He's not going to give you any reason to talk trash, Mr. Gaze. 3-point play complete by Xavier Cooks. As Kamwa will try to make something happen here, and he does. A quick answer as the ball stays in Dante Exum's hands for the Boomers. Gotta appreciate Salim's passion and his defensive presence. Look at this. So much respect on the floor. Coach Tuovi on your screen.
Just get a feeling Finland just hanging in here right now. Australia have had their dominance, but it's only in this quarter, it's only a 12-point lead. Still a long way to go in this contest.
So Exum, Euro step, laid the left, no. Covered here by Valtunen. One pace stripped away. I think they'll credit Cooks for that steal. And you got, I think, Gideon, the crew here might want to reward him for his defensive efforts. Cutter comes, White knocks it for two.
Well, they need to do something about this penetration. Australia now just spreading the floor, and whenever the help comes, they're good enough to find the cutters. And that time, Jack White showing his athleticism.
Australia stunned with the call, but it's Elias Valtunen who will go to the free throw line. Another look. Last made basket for the Boomers.
He goes up, but he sees it has the height and the athleticism, the power and the strength. Jack White getting to the rim. He's a part of the Denver Nuggets NBA championship winning team, and an almost similar action. Exum this time finding Cooks. So the new generation of Boomers coming through and having an impact And Paddy Mills has just checked back in for Cecil Exum. And Cecil Exum has come in and given some high-quality minutes with the shot and the penetration.
Little tangle here for the rebound. Giddy angles, foul first. And Finland, we are in the bonus, so this will result in some free throws for the veteran there, who's all smiles. Can't help but kind of like this guy.
No, he's played with a lot of passion, and the game comes to him. He's not one of those players that you see chasing the game, chasing his points. He just lets the game come to him, and he can beat you in so many ways. Renowned for his three-point shooting. That's been his calling card in the NBA for a long, long period of time. Last season with the Bucks, just recently signed with the Orlando Magic, but spent most of his NBA career with the Utah Jazz and that three ball. But he is also uber elite, even with the fans. Saw some fans there giving him a little bit of a jeer, makes it, gives him a stare down. He loves to interact with the officials, the fans, the opposition coaches. He's just out there having fun.
Listen, Andrew, I wasn't sure if anybody was going to make the same trip I did from Orlando, Florida in the United States. But it's nice to know that I'm in good company between him and the Wagner brothers and a couple others. Markkanen driving left, ditches two defenders, and it gets his own putback.
That body control for a big guy. That guy you saw, that little shake and bake, is 213 centimeters tall.
Mills with the left.
The starch has gone out of Finland's defense, and they just cannot keep the ball and the man in front. Everyone's dribbling and getting into the paint for Australia.
Kamwa trying to get a three. Australia will slow things down. About a second differential here between the shot clock and game clock as their captain, Patty Mills, has the ball. Spinning through traffic, kick to angles. Right wing shot is launched. Giddy with the board. And a reset, 5 seconds to go. Mills, little handle, Salin, and misses. No time to get anything up for Finland, and that's how the third quarter ends. It is Australia up by 16, 70-54.
Yeah, an impressive quarter by the Australian team. They outscore Finland 25-14 in that quarter. So it's been a dominant quarter for Australia at both ends of the floor.
The real question will be, Andrew, is can they keep it going, right? Basketball is a game of runs. And right now we're going to try and listen in to Brian Gorgin and Lassi Tuovi share the sentiment here heading into the final 10 minutes of play. What would your advice be, specifically for Finland first, Andrew, to try and claw back into this?
Well, they got to figure out a way to stop the penetration. As we take a look at the highlights, early on in the quarter, it was defensive transition. They came out of the halftime break a step slower than Australia, and Australia were able to kick it ahead and get some easy plays like that. Lauri Markkanen, he was able to keep things going for himself, but I thought they became very terminal. They got pushed out of their offensive sets way too easy, and they were settling for some poor shots. Credit to the Australian defense, and this action here, the ability just to get into the paint, way too easy. Not just Dante Exum, but he certainly took advantage of it. And if he was not there finishing himself, he was able to find his teammates, and that time Xavier Cooks with the two-hand flush. He's another one that's recently made his NBA debut with the Washington Wizards, and that time it was Josh Giddey. So this here, they may even have to consider packing it in. just, I even look at a zone defense, and you take a look at the stats, and it's been a turnaround. We're talking about Australia in that middle of that second quarter. They were down to that low 30s in field goal percentages. They're all the way up to 46% now, and Finland down to 41.
And for Australia, they have 10 different scores on the scoreboard right now. They trailed by as many as 8 in the second quarter. We saw 10 lead changes. And right now, they're out in front, 70-54. We start the fourth quarter. Despina Barton alongside FIBA Hall of Famer Andrew Gaze, who's quite familiar with this Australian national team. That's because he's a 5-time Olympian with Australia.
And that's the athleticism on display. Matisse Thybulle, one of the better defenders in the world.
Backdoor feed. Mills keeps his eye on the prize.
Damn. Great pass by Giddy. But they're all coming. Those passes, all these passes for these finishes around the rim are all coming with people penetrating and getting into the paint.
Markkanen, shoulder down, driving. Pivot stays, throws the ball right into Giddy's hands. A little frustration here.
Well, there is, and this is just a swarming defense by Australia.
White, slow draw, makes it count for all 3 points.
That's a little too easy. Jack White, this is a part of his game that's completely been transformed. When he was at Duke, 4-year player at Duke, he was not a great three-point shooter. And came out and spent a league this season in the NBL with Melbourne United, won a title, and he was, like I said, part of that Denver Nuggets team that won the NBA title. Didn't play in the games, but was part of the roster.
Finland calls a timeout. We're going to try and listen in.
Everybody else stay at home. Again, backdoor cut, basket. You need to stay in between your own goal over hell.
The basketball executor tickets now for the next games. Are you ready for the next game?
Make up so that Laura, you can curl or make the pick and play empty with Sasu. And if we get back to Ilari, we run the S, we set it, and Sasu will dive. Laura there.
Stifling defense there.
It was Matisse Thybulle. He actually was overplaying it. It was a good backdoor cut, but such as his athleticism, he's able to block that shot. There's Jack White, wide open, going underneath. And he was a 40% three-point shooter last season in his time in the G League and with the Denver Nuggets last season. So he's, blocking foul call, Paddy Mills. That's the difference we're seeing at the defensive end with Australia compared to Finland. That was Paddy Mills coming from the weak side. Markkanen thought he was in the act of shooting.
The officiating crew is saying, nope, you'll get the ball underneath the basket. Madsen misses. Kay with the rebound. And Giddy surveying the floor as he walks the ball up here for Australia. Driving left, Zapala in front of him. Hook with the right, in and out. He'll get to make up from it at the free throw line.
Well, that's really become Giddy's move. When he gets into the paint, the spin move is preferred go-to. And when you're his size, it's hard to stop because you're spinning and you're protecting the ball because you've got your body between the ball and the defender. But this is a guy, 204, 205. It's hard because he's so agile and can get to the rim.
And for those not on the metric system, he stands at 6'8". We got you covered. Between Andrew and I, we've got you covered. All the fans back in the States watching this in the overnight hours. Zabala working around the horn, curl shot, Salini drills it.
He just got caught on the screen. Batistava was on him, and he does not need any daylight. He's open, he's letting it go. Salini now up to 13 points.
Giddy on Markkanen gets the two. Zabala slows things down.
Giddy's now got 14 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists.
Markkanen, 3 launches, no good. Giddy, quick pass, finish there by White. And Australia having their day here.
9 rebounds and 8 assists. And the 14 points for Josh Giddy. Again, it's the defensive transition Finland found wanting.
The teams are battling it out on the court.
Another Finland timeout. A real difficult second half for Finland. They trailed by 5 points at halftime, and the Boomers have not looked back. The youngster, 20-year-old Giddy, the ball in his hands quite a bit here. It's fun to watch the new crop of Australian superstars. 14 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. Yeah, definitely on that triple-double watch. He's got 7.5 minutes to add a few more assists and rebounds. Markkanen misses. The ball stays. Finland another chance.
Well, it is going to be another chance, and right now it's about trying to get some credibility back into this scoreline. You know, anything can happen in tournament play, and margins, although with only 4 teams in the pool, they're unlikely, they can actually play a factor. So how Finland finish this quarter and this game is really important.
A little stagnant here on O.
And that's a last-second shot. He had to throw it up that time by Kontunen, but it's a really bad shot.
Driving right, little disruption, doesn't matter. The veteran, another 2. He's got 20 points. And another steal.
Just all coming apart now for Finland.
Giddy, a miss, and Markkanen will get the ball in his hands any way he can. Feed down low, Murphy, hook on the right.
That's a little better. And it was Markkanen playing the role as playmaker, bringing it down the floor, making things happen.
No whistle here as Finland treks up court. Kontunen on the floor. Things a little messy.
But one of the more interesting things we've got, we see Paddy Mills get to the rim, is can Josh Giddey get a triple-double? 14 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. And you suspect he's going to have to do it quickly with a nice, comfortable margin, 24-point margin. And, he beat me to it. Come on, coach. Giddey's on triple-double watch. But 3 games in 4 days these teams have to play. Just want to give some of their guys as much rest as they can.
And this is a tough bracket, right? Group E also includes Germany and Japan.
He's just all class. Buchanan puts it to the floor, used his size over Jack White with the step back, and knocks it down.
Five and a half to play. Mills elevates.
Well, if they're going to do that, if they're going to switch and put the big on to Paddy Mills' eyes is going to light up.
Kantunen now trying to connect. And Mills. Pull up 3. Heat check, maybe? He's got it.
Look at Paddy bumping the fans up. He's got it going. He's had a real rough time of it from the perimeter in the warm-up games, but he's got it going in this one this evening.
25 points for Paddy Mills.
Dyson Daniels and Chris Golding, still 2 players. Brian Gordon's only going with the 10 so far. And there's Paddy Mills. He just made one. He's feeling good. This time pulls up, and there's the switch. If you're going to switch and put a bigger guy on Paddy Mills, he can stop and elevate so quickly. And for those youngsters out there watching a shooting technique, Paddy Mills, that stroke is picture perfect.
Makshuni, here the cutter Murphy. Free throw line misses. And time is running low for Finland here to close the gap. Mills contested. A miss. Markkanen. To Murphy. Blocked. It's Reith there with the coverage.
Juop Reith. He only has 4 points in this one. In fact, in the lead-up games, they had a tournament in Australia, and Juop Reith was the leading scorer for Australia at almost 18 points a game across the 3 games that were played in Melbourne against Venezuela, South Sudan, and Venezuela. They didn't play Venezuela twice, and Brazil. Excuse me. Only got the 4 in this one. Perfect 2 of 2 from the field. Juop Reith.
White to Reith. Up, and we have a goaltending here. So
3 of 3 now.
Yeah. 6 points for Reith.
Chris Golding coming on for Paddy Mills. And there we see the finish by Juop Reith, and a good night's work. 29 minutes of play. Paddy Mills, 25 points, 11 of 12 from the field. 2 of 8 from the 3-point line. Good night's work for Paddy.
A 29-point advantage right now here for the Australian squad. Under 4 to play. Chris Golding was the last to touch it over there.
This has been an impressive second half. Hold a team to 61 points. This Finland team is more than capable. They had 40 in the first half. And Australia have done a good job of slowing them down.
Foul here picked up by Josh Green. The 4th for Australia here in the 4th quarter.
And we're seeing why a lot of people consider Australia to be one of the favourites. With the work that they're doing on the defensive end. They don't have the same size as some of the other teams, but they're so mobile and they can guard multiple positions. Dyson Daniels checks in. Another NBA player with the Pelicans. Moving screen. Got to be stationary when you set those screens. It's Kamwa that time.
The top two teams out of Group E will advance and match up against Group F as we continue play here. Australia and Finland wrapping up here on day number 1. Just over 3 minutes to play. The score has stayed still here for the last couple minutes. Makshuni keeps the handle, the roller in.
Did a good job to maintain the composure. Wobbled it and was still able to finish it.
Cooks.
Yes, as easy as you like. Gets to the rim.
Well, Tunin turns, passes it. Teammates flashing here at the top of the key. Gibbon goes easier. That one counts. Ball Tunin on the cut. Cooks thought he had an open look there.
Upset it himself, wasn't able to finish. But this has been an impressive display by Australia after a shaky and a little nervous start. Trailed it at the end of the first quarter by 4, but since then, they've been able to get things back on track. Take a look at Cooks. That's...
And on the bench watching right now is Lowry Markkinen. We're in the bonus, so you will see at least for any fouls handed over by Australia, we'll see Finland at the free throw line. Olivier Kamwa, the 23-year-old, who will be playing at the University of Michigan next year. Was pretty impressive, showing us a lot of his defensive stature with some big blocks in the first half.
Averaged 10 points a game with the Tennessee Volunteers last season. Jeez, that has been the story of the second half right there. The penetration and the weak side action, the cutting action off the ball has been superb.
And we were just talking about this young man, Kamwa, his abilities.
Well, he's a good athlete. And Kamwa, we saw early on in the first half, his ability to protect the rim was elite. And that time finishes in traffic. He's got a very bright future. He was with the Tennessee Volunteers, and he tested the draft, this 2023 draft, and it didn't work out, so he's gone back and transferred to Michigan.
Yeah, things are a little wonky in the States with the transfer portal. Right now, your favorite players can play for one team 1 second and transfer the next.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, the pass. That one intended for Kamwa. And maybe Finland's giving us a glance here of maybe where they want to head, where they want to get more touches throughout the tournament.
Well, that's right. And again, they've been saying it right from the start, how much they rely on Markkinen. He's a stud, but he's going to need some more help. That's going to be an interesting one. He did a good job, Murphy, in the backcourt. Hint of a unsportsmanlike. Where I think he made enough of a play on the ball. There's 4 categories that they go through, and that one there at least was a legitimate attempt in the eyes of the officials on the ball.
Final minute of play here inside Okinawa Arena. Despina Barton alongside Andrew Gaze. The Boomers out in front handedly, a moment away from securing their first World Cup victory here in the tournament. Meanwhile, on the other side, Lassi Tuomi, the head coach, the youngster for Finland. Finland just making their second ever World Cup appearance. And it was almost like a David and Goliath. Finland, the new kids on the block, and Australia here with their 13th appearance in World Cup play. Their best ever finish in 2019, 4th place.
And it was a controversial 4th place too, with the way that one played out. In the game against Spain to get into the gold medal game. Oh dear, Chris Golding from deep.
That was a long 3 attempt.
That's what he does. That's what he's renowned for.
Little strong take on the left, hits the deck and hits the 2, but he loses his shoe. Oh, I love the sparkle here. And the pink.
It's a good finish.
A little razzle-dazzle there.
Youngster gets to the rim and lost his shoe in the process. Can't get it back on. So they might have to get a sub.
He's given up on putting that shoe back on.
I mean, this is just an incredible experience. I think 12 months ago he was in the FIBA Under-18 European Championships, and he did well. 15 points and 9 boards a game.
Finland fans, well attended. They're here to see the finisher.
He was last year in that 2022 Eurobasket tournament. He was the youngest Finnish player. He became the youngest Finnish player to ever compete for a senior in the senior team. So he's got a bright future, as does Finland.
Green doing some cleanup action. Final 14 seconds of the contest. Sopalo with the ball for Finland. And another takeaway. Kind of the story here in the second half is Australia will secure their first victory here in Group E play. It's Australia 98, Finland 72. A rocky start there for Coach Brian Borgen, but once this team settled in, they took control and didn't look back.
Well, that's right. Even though this is a really experienced team, 9 of the Boomers players played at Tokyo. A lot of expectations, and there was some nervousness at the start and some really good play by Finland. They came out and shot the ball well, took it right at the Boomers. But as we mentioned throughout the call, the pace at which Finland want to play, it's difficult to do that when you've got a deeper and more athletic roster when you're going up against. And through it all, eventually the Boomers were just able to wear it down. Boomers really struggled with finishing in that first half, but once they started to connect and crank up the defense, and it was a much more determined and physical defense that Australia came out with in the second half, and it showed that it just wore Finland down. So it's a tough night for Finland, but for Australia, they would be super happy with coming out of this one with a relatively comfortable win.
A 26-point victory for the Boomers here in their opening appearance against Finland and Lauri Markkanen. A promising up-and-coming group. And there's a lot more basketball ahead. Australia taking on Germany 2 days from now, and Finland, the host nation, will face off against Japan. Meanwhile, the man of the hour, you're looking at him on your screen, the captain of the squad, Patty Mills.
He was big. He came up, took matters into his own hands when things were going a little pear-shaped on the offensive end, it was Patty Mills who took charge of the game and got the ball in his hands. And 22 shots he's had in 29 minutes. So he's got him up, and 11 of 22, some really good shooting. And this man on your screen, Josh Giddey, he was superb. Coach robbed him of a triple-double, and you can see why. The passing, only 4 of 10 from the field, but the 14 points, 6 of 7 from the free throw line. But he had the 9 rebounds and 8 assists. And Jack White came off the bench, showed his athleticism, also showed the ability to knock down the 3-ball. And, well, they didn't listen to us. We thought Josh Giddey might have got the TCL player of the game, but it actually been awarded to Patty Mills.
I think we're going to see a lot more of Giddey and an opportunity to be highlighted there as a TCL player of the game. But you're right, he got taken out on rest watch because there's a lot more basketball ahead of him.
Well, that's right, and it's about managing the body as well as what you've got to do for the long haul. And it's not just about this game. They put this one away midway through the third. And then it was about management. And the thing about it is when you get that nice, comfortable lead, there was no drop-off on the defensive end. That's going to be their calling card, and they really established good habits in the way in which they were able to close out this Finland team. That they've got some up-and-coming players and a lot of talent to work with.
And for Finland, they're going to take what they learned here today and prepare and rest. And next up for them, it's Japan, which we can expect a deafening crowd here later tonight, as we will get to see for the first time, Andrew, you and I, Japan and Germany go toe-to-toe here in the nightcap from Okinawa Arena.
Well, Germany, according to the FIBA power rankings, whatever they are, they've now become one of the favorites. That's coming up next.
And so Australia notches their first victory here in Okinawa. And next up, Germany, Japan, and 9-10 tip-off here. For Andrew Gaze, I'm Despina Barton. Final score, Australia 98, Finland 72. A lot more passion and basketball on the way from Okinawa. It's Boomers out in front by 1.
dia kata mungkin 2. Kalau 2 tu kita bagi tempat hitam dulu. Jadi nanti depan Niki ya kan. Nombor 1 kita bisa.
Hello. Hello. Hey. All right, all right. Okay. Hello, Brian. My word, I can, Brian. Hopefully you can hear me. I can hear you. I do. I have you, Brian. Yes, I've got you. Yes, I have got Brian. Brian can't hear me? I don't know how long. Can anyone hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can. How long before we go to air? How long? Because they want to do something to the mic here. Brian? Yeah, Brian, how long before we go to air? Because they want to put an ESPN badge on the mic. Have we got time or not?